And then when we're done, we'll just kind of stare at the camera just for a little bit, just to give my guy enough time to edit it out.
Okay.
And then it should be posted in about a week.
Oh,
Is that
great.
okay with you?
Sure. And where will it be posted?
So it goes on, I have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And it goes on all my other platforms.
Okay.
If you want us to tag you when we post it, we can
Sure.
do that.
Yeah.
Or we can just send it directly to you.
Sounds good. Sounds
Okay.
good. Yeah.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for being here.
My privilege. I'm glad to be here with you.
Yes. Hi everyone, this is Sabrina and you are watching another episode of Coffee with Sabrina. And I have a phenomenal guest with me today. I have waited for a long time to chat with this guy, so I'm looking forward to it. With no further ado, I would like to welcome you to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, taking the time. I know you're super busy, but taking the time to do this, I know it's been a lot for you.
Well, I'm glad to be here and I've been looking forward to this. So
Awesome.
I'm glad we can do it.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah. My name is Dan Aleman and I'm the mayor, city of Mesquite, and I am the mayor, but I'm also a pastor. And when I became mayor, it's interesting because folks began to realize that I'm the first Latino mayor here in the city of Mesquite, but not only the city of Mesquite, but also Dallas County.
Right.
So that was really kind of interesting. And with exception to Cockrell Hill, which is a small community inside the city of Dallas. But I'm a third generation Hispanic and I am bilingual. Our city has been changing a lot demographically.
Yes.
So you could actually say that we're a majority minority city now. And so it's been great to be serving as the mayor. I'm in my third year and I'll be starting my fourth year shortly.
Yeah.
And I've been on the council since 2016, but I'm also a pastor. And so we have our church here in Mesquite, Texas as well. And we have our congregation is the downtown area of Mesquite. I'm married. My wife and I, Debbie, we've been married next week. We'll be married 47 years.
Wow.
Which we're so grateful for that, to the
Yes.
Lord about that.
Yes.
And we have 3 grown children. We have 6 grandchildren.
Yes.
And so we stay busy with our family as well. So we're very much people persons. And sometimes people ask, well, how can you be the mayor and be a pastor as well? And of course, I got on the council in 2016. So I served several years as a city council member representing our district. And then I was approached about running for mayor. But that question, when it comes, it's all about serving people. And that's what I'm all about. I'm a people person and I love to serve people. And I know you're the same way too, because of the business that you're in.
Right.
Basically, you're serving people with what a need that they have. And both of us working in the marketplace and doing our work out there in the community, wanting to do all that we can to continue to improve our community the way that
Most
we can.
definitely,
So
yeah.
that's kind of a short capsule there of who I am and what I
Right.
do.
That's a lot though, because it gave us a clear picture, especially the audience. But I actually started following you through your being a pastor, because
Okay.
you had your online,
Yes,
and so I would get on there, and that's when I started following you.
yes.
And then when you became mayor, and you were out there really serving the community, because like you said, I do the same. So I've been
Yes, you
out
do.
in the community a lot, and I see you shaking hands, being sincere, being out there just helping others. And I wonder sometimes, oh my gosh, when do you rest? Because there's so many things that I see you going one after the other.
Well, I rest whenever I can.
Right.
But it's the joy and the passion of serving people. It's not a drudgery for me. I live with that purpose. I love to serve people, and I find a blessing in it as well.
Right.
Like I know you do as well. You have a passion for your work. You have a
Yes.
passion for serving people, and so I do. I try to make sure and separate one day for my wife and I, because that's very important. My marriage,
course,
my wife
yes.
and I, and we try to separate a day where we do something together every week, whatever it might be. I always encourage married couples to do that as well, to make sure in their busy schedule, whatever they do, separate one day. Make it a date night. Make it a time that you renew your relationship in the way you can of doing something together, and very important for us. So that helps as well, bringing rest, and so I sleep well at night too. I always tell people, hey, you want to have a good night's sleep? Well, just go home after your full day of work, and you're tired, you're ready, you'll get a good night's sleep, so anyway.
And a clear conscience too, that's one of the things I tell my client is when I'm done here with you, whether it's a review, whether it's a consultation, or whether we're offering products to you, I can go home and sleep well at night.
Yes.
Because if you call me at 2 o'clock in the morning, which I've had clients do before, saying my house is on fire, I can safely say you're taken care of.
Absolutely.
You're okay. So I do sleep well at night. With all the craziness that's going on in the insurance world right now, I still sleep well at night because I'm doing the best I can for them.
Yes, that's great. Well, tell me about the products that you offer, because I know it's important. I mean, people need to be prepared and they need to be ready. But what are some of the products that you offer?
So at the insurance office, I've been an insurance consultant for the last 27 years. The agency I own, I've owned it for the last 12 years, and I built it from scratch with Farmers Insurance. Also, I'm able to broker out insurance, so it's not just the farmers' products, and it's a full-service agency. So what that means is home, auto, life, commercial insurance, all the toys we have here in Texas, the boats and the jet skis and things like that. But I also work a lot with investors, landlords, things like that. My personal niche, as you can see as you walk in today, I have a team. So my team work on all the home, auto, all the other products. I work on the commercial side and life insurance. So life insurance for me is really a passion because it's not a product, it's a need. And as we see life happening, we know it's a need more than anything else.
Absolutely.
My focus is on the commercial side, so whether you own a franchise or you own a business, I love to sit down and really deep dive with my business clients. I think once I get that opportunity, I get their attention, first of all, because they're sitting in front of me, and they don't make time for that. And when business owners get so busy and you're not making time to do some of the important things, that's when you see on the news, they might come on, or someone might come on and say, the insurance company didn't pay anything.
Right.
The reason we didn't do that is because you didn't have the coverage, you didn't know, you were never educated, things like that. I train my staff on education first.
Good.
So we base the agency on education. And if they come in, we do free consultations. If they come in and they walk out that door, at least I know that they left with a little bit more education.
Right.
And so we're grateful for that.
Great.
Very grateful.
So you serve both individuals and businesses as well.
Correct.
And I know as a pastor, sometimes I come across people that they need that life insurance.
Yes.
They may not have that life insurance, and it is very important.
Yes.
So I'm glad that you work with that as well. I think it's very important.
I do go out to a lot of churches and schools
Good.
and individual businesses to talk about life insurance. When I go to businesses, of course, we talk about business insurance too, but most of my speaking events, we talk about life insurance because it's so important.
And your team is bilingual.
They are.
As well.
They are.
Which is a blessing.
The long-term goal for that agency is really to be a bilingual with 5 different languages.
Oh, wow.
And I am hoping, life happened in the last 10 years, right? We had all kinds of things happen. So the goal was in the first 10 years to have that. Didn't meet that goal, but it's still there.
What languages do you cover right now?
Right now I speak Spanish and English.
Okay.
I do understand some Hindi.
Okay.
I don't speak it fluently, but I can say a word or two. I can understand a conversation.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I would like to have, somehow I end up with a lot of Korean clients.
Yes.
And so I have Korean, I have a lot of from the Indian culture, India, different parts of India. I do want to have someone that speaks, the Indian language. And then I have a lot of Middle Eastern.
Great.
And so the Arabic language, which I don't speak.
How long have you been working in our city of Mesquite here?
I have been here for 34 years.
34 years.
Yes.
That's
I
awesome.
raised we raised our son here. He's now 31, and he's living in North Carolina with his wife. She is studying to get her PhD in nutrition.
Okay.
So they're there for, I think, 6 or 7 years. I'm not sure if he's going to move back to Texas. They both have all their families here. So we're kind of all hoping for that, but you never know.
Right.
They have a great life where they are.
We've
We've all, my mom and dad lives here, and I have a sister. We've been a part of this Mesquite community and all the Real Texas festivals, all the volunteering you could possibly do, we've done for every single event.
And we appreciate that so much. I think that's one of the things that we enjoy is as we see businesses come in and businesses grow, that they engage the community. They become a part of the community, getting involved in a lot of different ways. And for you to be here that long, we've been here, my wife and I, we purchased a house here in Mesquite 27 years ago. We've had our church going since 1997, so this coming January it'll be 28 years.
Wow.
28 years in January that we started the church, and but we love this community. We
Yes.
love this city.
Yes.
Great families and a lot of great businesses and opportunities. And with you being here that long, and myself as well, you've seen all the changes.
Yes.
And there's been a lot of growth. We're now a city population of 155,000 people.
You know, and it's not only about the growth. I love the diversity of our city.
Right.
You know, it was I've been here when the roads weren't even all the roads. You know, it was been here for a long, long time. But the diversity of our city has grown so much,
Yes.
and I think with that, it's made it even better.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. It's the demographics right now. Of course, with our MISD, there's even a higher percentage of Hispanics, and I would say maybe even 59% Hispanic, and 20 some odd percent African American, and then the remainder being Anglo or others as well.
Right.
And so there's been a lot of change. Now that's with the district, the school district, but with the city of Mesquite, I think we're right at about 45% Hispanic and 24% African American, and then the remainder being Anglo and others.
Wow.
And so a lot of big changes.
That is huge growth from a long time ago.
Yes.
Yes.
And of course we're extending further out too. So we're not just here in Dallas County now. Now Mesquite extends into Kaufman County,
Right.
Interstate 20, going further east, nudging up against Forney.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting to see how the city's grown and how we've continued to prepare for the growth in the future of
Yeah.
the city.
So if you can give our audience one advice, why would you tell them to move to Mesquite?
I would tell them that this is a city, it's growing, but still has that small town feel. I would tell them that there is a partnership here in our city that it involves huge groups. And I'll give you the example here. The city of Mesquite, our city staff, our city government, and then Dallas College, Eastfield, and then also the Mesquite Independent School District, and of course our Chamber of Commerce. These four groups touch all the different people in our city. And because there's such a great partnership here, it's something that trickles down and begins to create more unity and can create more unity in our city. Because there's enough things that try to divide a city or separate a city.
Exactly.
But having these four large entities working together to achieve things, and I'll give you an example. We have a swimming pool that was over to the north side of the city, Eastfield, and just recently it was redone with a building built around it with a partnership of three groups. That's Dallas College, Eastfield, City of Mesquite, and Mesquite Independent School District. And now we have the natatorium, indoor pool, and beautiful.
It is beautiful. I was there for the opening. Yes.
Wonderful.
It's just absolutely gorgeous.
I
love it.
It's a great example of partnership.
Yes.
That we find all the different ways that we can partner together. Because I like to tell people, a city and the marketplace of the city. The marketplace is the heart of the city.
Yes.
And only because when a town begins to be formed, it has certain needs. The marketplace meets that need. The marketplace finds, like, people begin to gather around the city, they start growing, then all of a sudden they have needs. What do they have needs for? They have needs for groceries, so a business starts. They have need for insurance, so a business starts, whatever it is.
Right.
But not only that, they have a need for government as well. So they need for businesses, a need for government, and then what else? They have children. They have children growing in that city. So what do they need? They need schools.
Right.
So then they have all these three, and then what else? Well, they need a spiritual well-being. So they need churches. So then all of a sudden you have churches, government, schools, businesses, and they're all working together to serve the community.
Exactly.
So as they do that, that's what I would say. Somebody looking to come to move into the city of Mesquite, they'll find organizations here that we like to partner together, work together, serve the city, and have that small town feel.
Yes.
Another great example is Sharing Life Outreach.
Oh my gosh.
The
yes.
great organization that exists to help those when they're in a crisis need,
Yes.
whatever that crisis need might be, and they're partnered with different groups as well. I think partnership is very important, and understanding we can do things together as businesses, like the upcoming Addressing Mesquite Day.
Yes.
20 years we'll be celebrating of businesses, different groups, different organizations coming together in one day to help the elderly, to help the disabled, to help veteran homeowners
Yes.
that need help sprucing up their homes and they're not able to do it maybe because of age.
Right.
And that organizations come and they partner together. Let's help them, let's help our neighbor.
You know, that's one of the things that I love most about our city is that we are able to do that.
Yeah.
I have, just so that we come as a community, but just to tell you, one of the things that I do, I have clients, I have a lot of old elderly clients, and the relationship I have with them is so great that sometimes they will call our phone and say, honey, do you think you can pick up a gallon of milk and drop it off for me because I don't have transportation? Whether I'm available or not, my staff knows that's our culture. So they do that.
Awesome.
So we do it on a very, very small scale. So imagine when we come together as a city. I love that. The other thing I love about our city is that it's bringing in a lot of jobs here.
Yeah.
With all the manufacturing companies
Yes.
and things
Yes.
like that. Because when my son was little, I always tried to stay close to home, but I was still a little bit further because there was not a whole lot of jobs in Mesquite.
Right.
We're talking 30-something years ago.
Right.
So I love the fact that when you're moving in here, if you have little kids, you're looking for jobs close to home, that we have that here now in the city of Mesquite.
That's been one of our goals as well as a city council, to be able to have a city where people can work, play, live,
Yes.
enjoy that quality of life in our city, and not have to worry about traveling across town or going to Dallas or going to get a good paying job out there. And we're bringing those jobs here, and it's exciting. And
Yeah.
even this past summer, we have a manufacturing company, Canadian Solar. They've already have 1,000 employees at that particular facility, and it's all about solar panels and what they're manufacturing. Then we have vehicle accessories that has just recently come in. We've had the ribbon cuttings this past summer.
Yeah.
And then the other one is General Dynamics as well, and that's right off of 635 and 80. And this is just three examples of three companies that are providing many jobs, so people don't have to go across or into Dallas or across the city for a good paying job. And this right here. But that's what I love about our city.
Yeah.
You know, that we can offer these things, but at the same time work at building that unity together. And what you shared with me about your team being ready to serve, like, it's a great example of servant leadership. That if somebody needs something, that y'all are there to help them as well.
Right.
And that's from the heart. That's passion.
Yeah.
And that sells as well, because people are looking for that. People are looking for those that are willing to connect.
Right.
And we have too much separating. We need to connect once again with neighbors, with community.
And that's one of the things I always try to get out there as much. Insurance is a product that a lot of people don't like to talk about. It's boring, they're afraid of it, they're scared of it, they're scared to ask you anything. But on the professional side, that's what I do. I'm an educator when it comes to my profession. But also, I want people to come up to me. I want people to come and ask questions because my network and my resources are so huge that we are able to help. When I can't do it, my backup is my team. They're ready to go. This is not something that we do and I have to pay them each time they come in on a Saturday or go run an errand on a Saturday for a client. They're doing that out of the goodness of their hearts.
Right.
So I want people to come up and talk to us when we're out there.
They are hard subjects because nobody wants to think about one day they could possibly have an accident and die. And then all of a sudden their family is left with who's going to take care of them, what's
Right.
going to take care of them. Not too many people like to talk about that,
Yes.
but it's all about preparedness. Same thing, no one likes to talk about the possibility of their home burning down one day or their, all these things. And it's still preparedness,
Yes.
being ready for whatever might happen. And it's wisdom. It's good for them to be ready because there can be those times that come up and God forbid something happened, then all of a sudden someone is lost, they die unexpectedly. And it's so important even for young couples barely getting started or middle age, whatever age if they have put it off, they need to do something.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I started the agency back in 2012, my son was working with me. He was in college, but he worked with me for the first 5 years. And I think it was 2 years into the business, he came to me one day and he said, "Mom, I think I need $500,000 insurance." And I'm like, $500,000? You're like 19 years old. You're 19 or 20, about to be 20. He said, "I sit here day after day and I hear you talk to all these 40 and 50-year-olds. Some are not even insurable, or some, their premiums are so high. I don't want to wait. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm young, I'm healthy. When I have my family, I want to be taken care of.
Right.
And I want them to be taken care of if something happens to me."
Right.
And so I wish everyone would think that way, but even in our culture and most cultures, you can't say the word life insurance to
Yes.
anyone.
Yes.
They don't want to hear it because you're jinxing them.
Yeah.
I think now after COVID, we've gotten some calls. We're getting more calls with people wanting to talk about it. But before, you couldn't just bring that up. Of course, I was brave enough to always bring it up. I don't think there's a single client that has ever left our office and not hear the word life insurance.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the need. I've been in this for 27 years. I've had 3 house fires with clients. And so I know how things can happen. I see all the things that you think will not happen to you. I see those things happen.
What would you recommend to a family, then, even a young family, of how to prioritize to be prepared and be ready, what things they need to think about in that specific order? Where do you put your products in priority of what they need to do first, what they need to do second, what they need to do with the different products that you have?
So, mandatory, the state says you have to have auto insurance. When you have a house and you have a mortgage company says you have to have insurance. My priority is life insurance. The reason I say life insurance first is because the quicker you get that, the younger you get that, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Because each year you put it off, it's going to get more expensive. I had a 9-year-old that was uninsurable because she had diabetes. And I sat with her parents to close their home and auto. We talked about life insurance. They said, "Oh, well, think about it." It was mom, dad, and 2 girls, a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. 2 weeks later, they came back, and this was years ago. I was working for another company. They said they're ready to do the insurance. Then realized that we couldn't do the 9-year-old because she was diagnosed a week ago with diabetes. So I too have had my own life stories. A lot of my own life stories where when I sit with a client, I tell them, and this is the reason why I prioritize it that way, life insurance first. Because you can walk out of here, God forbid, get a heart attack, a stroke, something, you're uninsurable. You could get hit by a car, God forbid, as we've seen in the news here recently, and not go home today.
Right.
How is your family going to take care, whether it's just a house you just bought or a brand new car or a child in college, whatever
Burial
it is.
expenses.
Burial expenses. And it's getting so high for that. Even cremation. I remember when cremation was a few $100s. Now it's still a few $1,000. Now it's few $1,000.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
life insurance, always for me, it's a passion of mine. It's a priority for me and my clients. if I can go that route all the time, that's where I will go.
Right, and like
And we do have different, different options.
for life insurance.
Yeah, for life insurance. So
Good.
it's not, I think people fear that life insurance is going to be so expensive that they wouldn't be able to afford it, and they don't want to talk about it because of that reason also. But there are lots of different options.
That's good. That's good, because you're right. I mean, everybody's living on tight budgets right now because of the inflation. Things have gone up, but like you said, they need to think clearly, especially if they have little ones or if they're married,
Yes.
and to make that a priority and go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
And it's good that y'all can just help someone through that process and get them through. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Since we're talking about products too, one of the things that I like to stress on and that I've seen is with my business owners.
Yes.
I'm a risk manager also. So when I review policies or I look at policies, I see a lot of things that are either on there that they shouldn't have, or a lot of things that they should have that's not on there. And they don't know. As a business owner, you go to someone, you say you need insurance, they give you insurance, and what you do when you get that package, you put it in a drawer. You don't ever read it.
Right.
So I love to sit with my business owners just to review. Again, our office is not designed for sales, so we're not up front here trying to sell you anything.
Right.
We're here fully to educate you, to review what you currently have, and so I love sitting with my business clients for that reason.
Good.
It's really, really to help them understand what they have, because as a small business owner myself, any pennies I can save, I want to save it.
Right.
But I
Right.
also want to know what's right for me in case I have a situation.
That's great. That's awesome. And so no matter the size of the company, if it's a small business or if it's a medium size or a large business, you're ready to help them. And
Oh,
you can
yes.
help them with your products.
Definitely,
So that's great.
definitely. I have, actually I have a lot of franchises that I work with.
Good.
The company has huge discounts for franchises, so it seems to be one of the things that I love doing also. So whether you're a small business owner like me with one or two business or one business, or you have 10 businesses, I can help you.
Right. And the other thing, with our weather so unpredictable, that's, even just recently, we had in the last part of May, early June, we had that unexpected straight line winds that came through our city and did so much damage. A lot of roofs, a lot of fences, a lot of just different property damage, and so you never know when it might happen. And even recently, just a couple of years ago, the Uri, the freeze that took
Yes.
place, they're unexpected. It's here in Texas, and or even hail damage. It's
We
just
have a lot
things
of
that happen.
Yeah, we had a couple of years ago, we had the tornado that hit Mesquite.
Right.
Because I had some clients that got damaged from that too.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that one, and that was right off of 635, and there's a church over there close to the area
Yes.
where it happened. That's Emmanuel Pentecostal Church.
Yes.
And it was right there in that area where there was, I think, on both sides of 635, damage to homes.
Let me tell you what happened with that as you bring that up. And this was a blessing to my family. So they ended up, my family, my mom and dad and my sister and her husband ended up taking food to the guys that was there at the church the
wow.
day after, because what happened was the tornado hit the church. And I don't know if you remember, it was a lot of damage to that church.
I do.
Came across the freeway where my parents live, hit the house next to them, skipped my parents' house, and
Wow.
went to the second house over.
So your parents' house was not touched?
It was not touched.
Wow.
Not even a shingle off their roof.
Wow.
And I was like, what a blessing.
Yeah.
What a blessing.
That's
and how
amazing.
protected they
Yes.
were in that moment.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful for that. But in that sense, they went out and they helped supported the people around, because
Yeah.
their house was missed.
Wow. That's amazing.
That was so amazing.
I remember that day. I think it was a Friday night going into a Saturday morning, early in Saturday morning, because I went out there as well. I was a councilman at that time, but I went out there because I know the pastor of that church and that congregation, and just wanted to see what kind of damage had been done. And you're right, there was extensive damage there that they had to take care of. And it's another example of the importance of having insurance and make sure you're ready.
Definitely, and correct insurance. But in talking about you going out there, that's one of the things I have to tell you that I admire about you, is seeing you out and about everywhere. everywhere. I totally admire that. And you're so engaged. You're out there commending business owners. You're there supporting their business, whether it's for your personal life or whatever it is. I love that about you, and I'm very grateful that you're here and a part of our community.
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
and I appreciate the invitation, just being able to come and just to share with you a little bit. But it's like I say, we live in a great community, a great city, and very people-oriented, and we invite people to come to our city and
Yes.
to consider this as a place for their family to grow. And our schools, our businesses, our congregations that we have around our city, and our city government, it's
Right.
those are the four main groups, and I bring that out because each one touches everybody
Yes.
in the city.
Yes.
Everybody has the need of the services that are offered by a city. If it's just trash collection,
Right.
or the water that we use, whatever it might be in the city that provides it, or the streets. And it's interesting because the streets is the subject that keeps coming up a lot because we live in an older city.
Yeah.
But we're attacking that, going after that aggressively because we need to repair those streets in older neighborhoods.
Yes.
And the whole thing is that because we're living in a time of inflation right now, the prices keep going up on cement,
Right.
keeps going up on all these things that are needed to repair the cities.
Yeah.
So we're doing all we can to go after improving roads, repairing the streets, and all the things that are involved with that. And then businesses providing jobs, like you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
providing those jobs, and making the city of Mesquite a place to live, play, work, that they don't have to go far into another area. So
Right.
yeah.
And most of what you're saying I know because I am a committee member on the design committee
Yeah.
for downtown Mesquite.
Yes.
So I know all the work and all the things that are happening in the background to fix roads, put proper signs, make it beautiful so that people will want to come in here. We have businesses like the restaurant downtown,
Yes.
Dos Panchas.
Yes.
I mean, they've been here forever.
Yeah.
So
And
I
you're
love,
right here. You're right
Yes.
here in downtown Mesquite,
Yes, I am.
which is great because all this area right here where you are as well. And but now people can find, what are your hours and your physical address here for people that are watching?
So I'm here at 309 North Galloway Avenue, and our hours are Monday to Friday. I'm in I'm in a building, and during the weekend it's closed. We do work on some weekends, but by appointments only. So if they do want to see us on the weekend, any one of my staff or myself comes in. Sometimes we're all here on a Saturday, but we're we're like 2-3 footsteps away from downtown, and we're in the old professional building. For the people that know Mesquite, we are actually in the old professional building.
And do you have a web page as well they can go to and they can get more information, the
Yes.
products that you have and all that you can do it by email, or you can do, because I know everything's so advanced with technology now
It
that I know
is.
you can do it in your office right here, but you
Yeah.
can probably do it online if people just choose to do some things online with you.
We can. So we'll drop the link on the bottom of this video with my website and everything. So yes, they can go to my website. They can get a quote. They can send me an email if they just want to send a message. Or of course, just pick up the phone and call, or text. Now everything is on text. You text the office line,
Right.
and we get the text now. So
there's no excuse.
there's no excuse.
There's no excuse not
There's
to
no
have insurance,
excuse.
and everybody needs insurance,
Yes.
and just to simply reach out, if by text or if by email or if by however, but just to
Yes.
make that step, take that
Right.
step, that initial step, and then you help them along the way.
Exactly. And again, I love to stress on the fact that it's not always that you might be looking for insurance, but if you're not understanding something, I tell my clients or my prospects, if you have a pain or you have a medical issue, you go to the doctor. If you have a legal question, you go to an attorney. When you have an insurance question, ask an insurance agent.
Good.
Don't ask the neighbor, don't ask your friends or family, because everyone's situation is different.
Yes.
So we're here for that. Now, even if you're not shopping insurance, even if it's not time for you to change, even if you have a family member that's your agent, and you would like for me to answer questions or to look over your policy, we do that for free. So I love to sit.
Wonderful.
I just want to get to know you. You know,
Yeah.
just get to know you, know a little bit about you. Let me explain this. If you walk out that door, or when you walk out that door, I know that I've done my job, and that's
Yes.
educating you. And that is my purpose, making a difference one day at a time, one person at a time.
That's great.
So I get to live my purpose in my personal life and in both my businesses.
Yes,
In
that's
both the
wonderful.
businesses. So,
And you've done it for a lot of years.
yes.
So that's even better.
Yes. Well, and I love it.
That's
I love
great.
it.
That's
That's
great.
why I can sleep well at night too.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, before we end here today, do you have anything you would like to share with the audience?
No, just to say that it's been a pleasure being a part of this program once again, and I do want to encourage you to reach out. As a pastor, I know the need is there, but you're going to have the information on your screen, so take that initial step and find out more about what you need to for your family, and for, like she says, just for being able to rest at night, sleep well at night, and know that things are taken care of. So just for folks to make that consideration a priority in their life. So very important.
Well, thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you being here
I
today.
appreciate the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, guys, we wrap up another episode of Coffee with Sabrina. Until next time. Bye-bye. Well, awesome.